I'm Maggie Shane, and this is the Bliss Blog. Welcome. Today's post is Hope for Humanity, the USA, and the world. The state of the world in which we live is a condition. The entire point of understanding the laws of the universe and how they work isn't so that we can control conditions. That's a giant misunderstanding among law of attraction students and some teachers. It's not about controlling conditions. It's about not letting conditions control us. The phrase, "you create your own reality," is bandied about freely without much thought as to how accurate it is or how problematic. Say that to a rape victim or a person dying of cancer. See how it goes over there. I've probably said it here, just tossing it off as shorthand for when we're aligned more with what we want than what we don't, our lives will include more of what we want than what we don't. But unwanted will still come, as it must. Otherwise, our growth and evolution would cease, and the ripple that would cause could make existence blink out. It is the unwanted things in our lives that cause us to evolve past them. The good stuff just makes us want to stay right where we are, all warm and comfy. And two, we're living in some really uncomfortable times at the moment, as many among us have been for generations. And not focusing on the very conditions in which we're living is damn near impossible. That's like telling a dolphin not to notice the water, you know? We're in it. It's dumb to coach folks to pay less attention to what they are living. This isn't about changing conditions, though. And I think here I might have stumbled upon one of the key differences between working with the law of attraction and doing natural magic. In magic, we might work to change the condition. That's actually pretty standard. But in our own spiritual center, the goal is to remain steadily aligned with our very best selves, no matter what is happening around us. That is to say, no matter what condition we're experiencing. We don't let conditions shake our vibe. That's all. So here's the process of our lives. Experience, choose, sort, repeat. 1. Experience. We experience the vast array of life presented to us, like walking into a warehouse filled with beautiful clothes from every culture, fabric, designer, style, and time period ever to exist. That's step 1, and we don't even do that. It's all around us. We're immersed in all the sights, sounds, textures, tastes, scents of this world, all its people, places, and things. So every experience goes into our collection. And so the universe expands. Step 2 is sort. We explore our warehouse full of wonders, and we choose the outfits that make our hearts sing, knowing we can only wear one at a time, but also knowing we can come back in here as often as we like to change. We don't have time to wear every single thing in the warehouse, nor would we want to, because that warehouse is packed with some god-awful outfits we find absolutely ugly, horrible, gross. Some of them are so bad it would physically hurt to wear them. So the sorting process is just that, sorting. I like this. I hate this. This one's just okay. Ooh, this one sings. Ugh, that one's gross. That's step 2. And it's not something we even have to consciously try to do. We do it automatically, every day of our lives. This water tastes so good. I love the view from here. I hate that spot in my carpet. I love dogs. I hate snakes. I like walking in the rain. I detest the cold. I love my job. I hate my boss. God, I love potatoes. That last one is true. Might be my Irish. Step 3, choose. This is the work of our everyday lives, the choosing. In my fashion warehouse analogy, I can choose to spend hours studying the stitching patterns and button loops on the outfit I hate most, or I can choose to spend that time looking at the outfits I love most, even honing my preferences to get to the better and better and better ones. One will result in my experiencing more of the stuff I hate, just by virtue of being all wrapped up in it. The other will result in experiencing more of the stuff I love, just by virtue of being all wrapped up in it. And that's without any magical thinking, which is being tossed around as an insult these days. Can you even? That's without any magical thinking entering into it. If I spend all my time on what I hate, I'm experiencing what I hate. Am I not? And ditto the opposite. So when we choose where we put our attention, we automatically improve our experience just by simply looking more at what we like than what we don't, without another single thing happening because of it. It's just there. I can stand in a dark room all day and experience darkness, or I can stand in a light room all day and experience light. What this doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that the ugly outfits or the dark rooms will cease to exist. We've just learned how to steer around them most of the time. It also doesn't mean that those ugly outfits and dark rooms aren't going to grab our attention every once in a while. They're out there. And as soon as we notice them, they're in here. That gorgeous dress we chose even might have a tag that makes our skin itch, or an irritating fabric, or a too tight collar. That vivid color we loved will make our face look bright pink or entirely washed out. The built-in underwire bra hurts. That's nothing to do with this post. I'm just telling you so you know. Built-in underwire bras hurt. See, no matter how much we focus on the good stuff, we're going to experience some not so good stuff because we have to. If all we had to do was pick the prettiest dresses, nothing would ever change. We'd just go from one pretty dress to the next, and we would never change. Fortunately for us, that's not possible. Nothing in existence is static. Spiritual evolution does not equal avoiding life's tough patches. It's the hardest times that create the greatest growth. Repeat that to yourself, because those of us who've been studying law of attraction for a while might have got a slightly different message. It's the hardest times that create the greatest growth. Films like The Secret make this spiritual knowledge all about getting flashy, expensive, glittery stuff you want. Yachts, cars, mansions. And that's not what spirituality is about, despite what Deepak's diamond-studded eyeglasses have to say on the topic. If you need yachts and cars and mansions to feel fulfilled and to validate your alignment, then that's the opposite of being aligned. The goal of spirituality is to align more closely with the pure positive energy that is Source in order to grow in understanding. And when I say Source, I mean the big giant consciousness we call God, which I believe is the singular consciousness that streams a beam of itself into each of us and becomes our own soul, our own consciousness. I suspect the physical parts of us emerge from those consciousnesses as perfect mirrors of the bits they will contain within. So we each have a body that is a perfect match to our soul, our spirit, our inner being, that beam of consciousness. When we try to align ourselves more with Source energy, keeping in mind that it is positive, light, expansive energy, we get a clearer signal. Our intuition and creativity are both far stronger, and we feel better. When we're aligned, we get the notes. But bad shit is still going to show up, because when things are good, there's no need to change anything, and change is what life is. Evolution is change. It's the definition. We're humans. We can't help but rubberneck past a bad accident or turn on the news to follow the latest crimes against humanity. We are humanity. The folks who are suffering are us. Their consciousness beam comes from the same place ours does. We emerged from the same source. We were twins in the womb. We are, beyond our bodies, the same being. Being aligned with Source doesn't mean we avoid the problems. It means we know how to have a happy, fulfilling, delicious experience of our 100 years or so in these bodies, regardless of the problems. Even if we live in the midst of the hardest times ever, there will be love and joy and compassion These are the reasons for being here in the first place, and we can experience these, rich or poor. Now, what does this have to do with hope for humanity and the United States and the world? Well, there's no denying that some very bad things have shown up in our experience. They've shown up globally. How are we supposed to be aligned right now with so much horror being visited upon our fellow humans, friends, neighbors, families, even ourselves? There's no question we feel the pain of our brothers and sisters, and we feel our own. But we can still feel other things too. And we need to do that as often as possible. Is it selfish to seek out good feeling experiences while others are suffering? In a plane crash scenario, isn't it better to put on your own oxygen mask first and then help your seatmate rather than try to help them and pass out and then you both die? Our misery cannot help anyone. But from a place of well-being, we can help multitudes. We are more powerful, more clear-eyed, more effective, and by being more connected to Source, we're more intuitive and plugged in and more easily able then to connect to effective actions rather than just shouting our fury into the void. Connected people organize protests and grocery deliveries and troops of moms to escort kids to school and voting registration drives and fundraisers that create actual change. Disconnected people run around bumping into things at random. They see mostly things they hate because they pay attention to mostly things they hate. And the conditions of their lives knock them around like the ball in a pinball machine as they react to one condition after another with fury. They don't have that connection to hold them to a steady course, nor have they understood that peace and calm and love are more powerful than anger and rage. Some want to change what they're seeing and think they can do so by barking and growling at it like an aggressive dog. But that's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. We can't make things better by barking and growling at them. We can change things with steady, consistent, ongoing, tireless, peaceful work. And we are winning. The tide has clearly turned. Now, this is not a political blog, so I'm not going to list all the positive steps that have happened in the U.S. in the past few days, but you probably already know. The courts are holding the line. Some in the GOP are waking up. The manosphere has abandoned ship, and the approval ratings are flirting with the teens. I keep saying the further the bowstring is drawn, the farther the arrow will fly. That arrow will be loosed. It must. It's inevitable. I know it's hard right now, but there's no reason for despair. They cannot sustain this. It can't last, and it will not prevail. I find it extremely helpful to watch old World War II movies where the Allied forces beat the Nazis and win the day. I love to feel the thrilling triumph as the war is won. I feel the same way when I watch Hamilton. Oh, you should so watch Hamilton. The Battle of Yorktown scene where we effectively win our independence from the British. It is thrilling. I'm going to put the clip in the show notes for you, and I recommend you watch the whole 4 minutes, but if you can only watch half, watch from the middle to the end. Oh, it makes my heart soar every time. It feels so great at the end when they shout, "We won, we won, we won, we won!" And the world turned upside down. Well, the world is about to turn upside down again, folks. And it's once again U.S. Americans who are going to do the turning. How to shift to the solution. Rather than living in fear of how the regime might tamper with the elections, for example, let's live in pure, enlightened determination to jump through every hoop required to exercise our right to vote. Rather than fearing what he'll do when he loses, focus beyond that at the victory party when we win. Rather than focusing on the old perverted evildoers dying off, which they have to, focus on how great the generation coming in is going to do, and those coming up into their adulthood right now. Oh, we've got some amazing generations coming into power these days. Realize, too, that we are going to end up with a far more progressive nation, far sooner than we would have otherwise. These things are inevitable. They must occur. They were needed before all this, but we as a nation refused to see the need or make the needed changes. And so the need had to get bigger to force us to see the problem. And that's what this is, us being forced to wake the fuck up and do something. And guess what? Americans are waking the fuck up and doing something. The only question is, how long will it take? Well, that's only a matter of how fast we, the people, can get our asses more aligned with loving each other than with hating the disconnected outliers. It's 80-20 with a rocket, folks. We've got this. That's it for this week, friends. Love you. See you next time.